I just want to congratulate the Wilsons and their whole crew on making it to 20 years. The Ottawa Writers Festival has actually been, I think, my biggest supporter over the years. I think I've been invited like 6 times. This book was sort of triggered for me by the idea that we possess a lot of things, but one thing that we possess we don't think about very much is a selfhood, which we think of as being belonging entirely to us and making us special and separate from others. So I mean, the book started with an image of wondering what I would do if I encountered my identical twin, not having one. And I wanted to approach it from a sort of psychologically realistic perspective. The main characters had a postpartum depression earlier on, not in the novel, but in the backstory. And when she sees her doppelganger, she begins to worry that, there might be something, well, others around her especially begin to worry that there might be something wrong with her. But from Jean's point of view, and she speaks in first person through the whole novel, what's impressed upon her is the threat to her personal sovereignty, the fact that she is, until this point in her life, she's 42, she's never had to question her selfhood, and we often do for different reasons, but not as sort of bluntly as Jean has to in this book. For those of you who may not know where Bellevue Square is, it's in Kensington Market in downtown Toronto, and it's about 500 meters from the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health up at Spadina in College. So the park itself is like a weird little crossroads where people come and go from all sorts of places downtown. Maybe they work there, but also it's the nearest green space to the mental hospital. So she does encounter a lot of people who, on one hand, sort of reflect back to her what she's most afraid of, which is losing herself in one form or another. But as the story goes on, she begins to recognize that there's also a fullness of character and spirit in each of these supposedly broken people. And I like Square because it feels like the market itself is so fluid, not just culturally, like from, every 5 years you go to the market and there's a new sort of national dish being served in 6 or 7 different places. And it's so friable, and that's a threat to her and her sense of, who she is and where she belongs. And I'm going to just set this up a little bit. Jean Mason has been told that she's got an identical twin, a mysterious doppelganger at large in Kensington Market in Toronto. And in the scene I'm about to read you, she has lost track of time, and she's been anticipated at home with her husband, 2 children, and her mother-in-law for dinner, and she shows up quite late. It's a Friday night. Her husband is Jewish, and her mother-in-law is horrified she's missed Shabbat dinner. And so here it is. I had quite a shock when I got off the phone. It was nearly 9 at night. I'd lost all track of time. I'd also forgotten it was a Friday, and I had 5 texts from Ian. They were increasingly splenetic. The final one read, "I thought we had an agreement. If I don't hear from you by 8, I'm making a missing persons report." He picked up halfway through the first ring. "Are you okay?" "Yes, I'm sorry. I was doing inventory and the system crashed, and I had to call Terrence to come in. I just lost all track of time. What a mess. Did you eat?" "I was worried sick," he said. "I hope you guys ate." "Of course we ate. It's Shabbos. We ate almost 3 hours ago, which was 2 hours after you were supposed to be home." "Are the boys okay?" "Are you kidding me? They barely registered that you weren't at the table." "Did they register that you were at the table?" "No. Why are you laughing?" "A missing persons report? Are you coming home now, Jean?" "Yes, immediately." "How delightful. I'll be upstairs working when and if you do. Goodbye, wife." "Goodbye, husband," I said in my meekest voice, forgiven through mockery. When I got home, I found that Ian's mother was still at the house. She'd waited for me, so I wouldn't have to eat alone. "We girls have to stick together," she said. Bernice hadn't liked me when Ian brought me home 15 years ago, and she didn't like me at the wedding either. But as soon as I started popping out her grandkids, she turned sweet as pie, at least officially. We both understand she still doesn't like me, but we each come with the package now, so why not be nice? I've asked Ian how it is his eyelids don't close sideways, and he claims his father, who I never met, was only part lizard. Beatrice's tongue is pinned to the floor of her mouth owing to some childhood incident involving a pencil, so you only ever see the pristine pink tip of it. This is only one of the things I'm not crazy about. She was also born smelling of bronzer. I play a game where I am twice as polite as she is and see if I can make her burst into flame. That is so super of you, B, to wait, I said. At least there's one civilized person under my roof. I'm heating a microwave in the leg for you, she said. We'll have a little picnic. I sat at the one place setting left at the table. It was a large white plate on a plastic placemat. When the microwave dinged, she removed a casserole with a steamed-up lid. My children, who had yet to say hello to me, were on the couch, engrossed in their phones. In Reed's lap, the cat, Lefty, was curled up in his usual place. The only sound coming from the room was purring. "Hello," I called. Beatrice put a casserole on the table and removed the lid. Inside, resembling a crime scene photo, was a single chicken leg. "Is there any salad left?" I asked her. "Oh, look, you eat, you're hungry." She rummaged in the fridge, her broad rear end blocking my view of the boys. I heard Nick say, Nick's the older boy, by the way, they're 12 and 10. I heard Nick say, "Do you know what rage means?" "Angry," Reed answered. "A lot of angry." "I got salad," said Beatrice, backing out of the fridge and standing with a showy groan. "And I found something to nosh on with you. Got to keep my strength up for these little gangsters." I was still half listening to Nick. "Do you know what inducing means?" Reed's shoulders bounced up and down. He didn't know and he didn't care. "It means make something happen," Nick explained. "Angry Birds is a rage-inducing game." Nick had lately been sprinkling his conversation with words that belonged to a more adult vocabulary like inducing. I wanted to hear my children talk to each other, but that was it for their conversation. They'd been drawn back into their several screens, and they sat together isolated, their phones in their hands with the television still on in front of them. I'm not certain either of them can function with fewer than 2 screens. Reed's eyes were dead, fixed and dilated. "Why is that one so schwarz?" Beatrice asked me. Schwarz is Yiddish for dark. "Why is that one so schwarz?" Beatrice asked me. "Sorry?" "Nicholas. You don't think he's darker than his brother?" I've never thought to compare them. She looked over her glasses at me. "Have you always been so fair?" "Yeah, my sister too." "Your sister? Well, maybe it skips a generation." Or maybe, she said, winking, "you got it on with the postman." Her mouth churned with white meat. Her nosh was a whole chicken breast from the fridge. "How's your chicken?" I asked her. "I don't mind having cold. You eat." Ian's mother eats chicken like a Jewish Inuit. She eats the skin, then the meat, followed by the gristly, translucent gray knobs at the end of the bones. These she breaks to suck out the marrow. I pray she doesn't have a chicken breast when she comes for Friday dinner, because she eats the ribs and makes a barbaric smacking and crunching noise. "Ah!" Nick shouted. "This shithead game is glitched." "Nick!" "Well, it is. It doesn't require such colorful language." "Ugh," said Beatrice. "Shithead isn't too bad. Do you remember when he was 2 and he'd ride around on that plastic tricycle and go fuck, fuck, fuck every time he bumped the stair?" "Ha ha 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 ha," Reed shrieked. "Shut the F up, limp dick," Nick shouted. The chaos ignited something in my duodenum. My stomach lurched and I felt the back of my throat being pulled downwards. Then something came out of me. No one could see it, but it was in the room with all of us. I felt it go through Nick and Reed, and I heard Beatrice chewing bones and swallowing them. She tapped the edge of my plate with a sternum. "Stop dreaming, dear. It has the most bacteria in it when you eat it at room temperature." I tried to go back to my food, but the panic was rising. It wasn't panic, though. It was density and intensity. It was volume and pressure and brightness, like someone had tightened the room tone. My ears tuned tinnitus and my eyes focused to 500 dots per inch. Now I saw, impressed into the tip of Beatrice's index finger, the outline of her nail before she cut it. I saw the light in the kitchen behind her head grow a nimbus. A thought appeared in my mind, and the thought was, I'm inside of what I'm inside of, but I don't have thoughts like that. Then the sound of Beatrice chomping the wishbone, a moist splintering, made me jump up and my chair hit the wall behind me. "Holy!" she shouted. I ran upstairs to the hall bathroom and locked the door behind me. Ian stomped down from his office. "Oh my God, Gene, what is going on?" He tried the handle. "Hello, are you okay?" My chair tipped over. "What happened to you today?" I lost all track of time. I ran cold water over a face cloth, loud enough so I had cause not to hear what he was saying. Did everyone have a nice supper? I called. Reed ate buns and dipped French fries into sauce. Nick ate half a chicken. There were French fries? You sound strange. Can you unlock the door? Can I talk to you? He rattled the handle. When I didn't reply, he went away for a minute, but returned with something that clunked against the door. It sounded like a chair. I stepped backwards into the tub. Jean? I'm okay, I said. I just had a little tumble downstairs. Everything's fine. All right, but where have you been all day? Before inventory or whatever it is you were doing. I went and sat in a park for a couple of hours. I had a call. With who? Whom? Don't do that. He tried the handle again. Can you open the door? I'm taking a shower, I said, turning the water on. I'll be out in a second. He just sat there. I could sense his weight behind the door. Are you going to listen to me shower? Turn the water off. Okay, enough. I did. I didn't need this to escalate. You promised to talk to me if you ever had another attack, he said. So talk to me. Oh, fuck, I thought. I did. But did I mean this? Did he mean anything out of the ordinary? Or did I mean only and specifically if I suffered postpartum depression again? Nothing like that is going on, I said. There's nothing to tell you about. It was a beautiful day. I went to a park. I had an ice cream and I lost track of the time. And then I had to go back to the bookstore because Terrence and there was inventory. The bookstore. Because you what? You're lying. You're lying to me, Jean. Why? The anguish in his voice hurt to hear. I unlocked the door. He came in. I saw him look for anything I might have been planning to harm myself with. See, I'm fine. So why lock yourself in the bathroom? I wanted to be alone for a couple of minutes. I heard you come up the stairs like there was something chasing you. I know what you're thinking, Ian. But that was then and this is now. You don't have to worry about me. I can't ever stop worrying. I saw what happened to you. You didn't see it. You didn't even know you were sick when you were sick. I know, I repeated. Okay, what happened tonight wasn't exactly as I told you, but if I tell you, I just want you to listen, okay? Yes, please. I did have a little attack, I began, making it up as fast as I could. When I was out getting a coffee, my heart just started going bump, 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 and I got scared. I had to walk it off, like Dr. Pass told me, you know. I walked, and I don't know how long I walked, Ian, but my mind cleared. You said you had a call, he asked. But from who? I talked to my mom. I talked to a friend so I could ground myself. It was good to hear their voices. Why didn't you call me? Because I thought you would do this, get worried or get angry. I took care of it, I said. I'm sorry I gave you a scare. He went into himself for a minute, weighing. He took my chin in his palm and kissed me. Okay, I'm sorry that happened. I'm glad you're feeling better. Carry on, I said. I'll release your mother back to the wild and put the kids to bed. Okay, next time call me though. I won't judge you. I want to help. Sorry, I said. Thank you. He started up the stairs. By the way, have you noticed your mom's been getting mixed up lately? How do you mean? She put a microwave in the leg for my dinner. That's how she said it. He continued to his office, shaking his head slowly. E&E's for, if it's not one thing, it's another. Thank you.